welcome to Thursday Grace. It's good to see you here with us again. Now this is our last talk in this series we've been doing of Same Storm, Different Boat. As you've journeyed with us in this season, I wonder how many different boats you have found yourself in. As this pandemic storm continues around the world, we can easily find our circumstances being changed, sometimes even in just a day. So it's not surprising that we find ourselves in different boats as life changes around us. Our boat today is called Lost My Direction. Now, to be able to admit this is the boat you found yourself in, you are admitting at best you are off course. A little bit perhaps, or perhaps a more significant off course. Or at worst, you feel you are completely lost. Now, it's easy to be blown off course by a severe storm. It happens to planes and boats because neither are able to resist the power of a severe storm in the skies and on the seas. Now, the latest technology cannot overcome the power of nature. We've seen that in news reports of late. A storm blows in and everything is destroyed in its path. So in this pandemic storm, we need to remember we can all too easily lose our way. Now, since being a youngster, I could read a map very well. It was one of those skills I picked up with no effort at all. And I could always find my way through the densest of woods and forests. Out with the family when we were all young, I was the one that would always find the way that we were going. And always, I've always been able to find my way home by the next mealtime. Now, some years ago when we were tourists, not residents in this lovely county of Pembrokeshire, we had a day out up in Monmouth, lovely place to visit. We were happy, we were tired. It had been a long day and it was time to journey back to our caravan in St David's. Now, we'd been given a sat-nav by our daughter. It was one of her handovers because she'd had an upgrade. So we always get sort of second-hand new technology. Now, we'd never used it before, but it was in the car for the holiday. We decided we'd take a different route back home, somewhere we'd never driven before. Because after all, if we got lost, we had this wonderful new tool. Now, nearly an hour into our journey, the storm descended. We were on a country lane. This was no longer a lovely scenic route because it was raining stair rods. The sky was black and we just crept along. We could not even see a car length in front of us with the rain and the storm lashing around. Now, we pulled over and out came the sat-nav. It was a bit difficult to get it to connect to that mother spaceship or satellite up in the sky, but we typed in St David's city centre. Now, we were a bit surprised as the journey time to reach home was shorter than we'd expected, but we'd asked for the fastest route. Lovely, we thought. We will just follow the instructions. Now, the rain eased a bit. The sky wasn't quite so dark, and after all, there was a map on this little machine in front of us. And so we journeyed along. And then we heard something we definitely did not want to hear. You have reached your destination. We were in the middle of nowhere. We didn't have a clue. The storm again fell. Rain, heavy cloud, blackness, no moon, no street lights, no nothing. We were well and truly lost, somewhere in Wales. Unless, of course, this little machine had backtracked and we'd headed north instead of south, and perhaps we were back somewhere over the borders, back into England. Now, we tried to get the machine to work again and it wouldn't. It could not find where we were. Signal had been lost. So we drove slowly on. No lights to be seen, no road signs, no machine to help us. We didn't know where to find our place on a map. and we just kept driving steadily until we found a road that was not quite a country lane, and trusting our instincts turned right along it. And hey and behold, a little further on we found a road that actually had white lines down the middle and lovely signposts. So we did not enjoy that journey home. It was definitely not an adventure. When we looked at the machine a few days later, we didn't even find out where we'd been, apart from the fact that on the list there was other St. David's, and this had obviously we'd picked the wrong one. Now, we'd lost our way accidentally because we'd chosen the wrong destination. We were also in a place we didn't know. Now, that can be how we feel sometimes. For some of us, we may feel we are no longer close to God. We're no longer in that place and relationship that we know, because somehow we've lost sight of our intimate walk with him. We may still be reading the Bible, we may still be praying, and yes, there is a but the richness and beauty of these actions that have always sustained us, of study and prayer, has somehow become dimmed by the storm. We no longer feel we are walking where we need to walk with who we want to walk with. Now, for others, the plans and pathways that we'd followed have been disrupted, diminished perhaps, for some even destroyed. And we have lost what we believed was our future hope. Where we were journeying to now is not possible. Now, any trauma in life can cause this. And this storm really is traumatic. For those in grace who are feeling lost, please stay linked in. If you don't know the direction any longer, talk to your life group leader or anyone in leadership. Take time out with scripture, especially the teaching in Luke 15. We were lost and we have been found. We may feel lost again, but we're not truly lost because Jesus is with us. Remember, he will never leave us nor forsake us. But we need support in order to know his closeness and his presence and his guiding and direction again. A useful scripture to meditate on is Isaiah 30 verse 21. You will hear your teacher's voice behind you. You will hear it whether you turn to the right or the left. The voice will say, here is the path I want you to take. Jesus is asking us to walk on it. Now, if you're not in Grace Church and from another church or fellowship, the above advice still is good. Speak to somebody in your fellowship, ask for help, study the scriptures, keep linking in. But what if you're not in a church fellowship? What if you're a seeker, someone wanting answers, because you have found yourself in this boat called Lost My Direction? You've come to the right place. Jesus is truly calling you to be here. Whether you know it or not, you are precious and loved. You've been found by Jesus, and he wants you to know him as deeply as he knows you. Now, whatever platform you're watching this on, please contact us. We are Grace Church, West Wales. And the one thing we can say, you are loved completely by Jesus. And if you journey with us, we will do you good and help you to come to know him in a deeper and more intimate way.